So not quite a first and goal. It's first and 10 from the 10. Here's Stafford. Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Paulson Adebo. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. What a moment for him, a pick-6 in the Super Bowl. You think about some of the big pick-6s over the history of this huge game. I remember, because I was watching with a lot of Colts fans, Tracy Porter picking Peyton Manning to get the Saints' first title.
Yeah, that would pretty much seal the deal for New Orleans as well. But I got to go back a ways because, you know, unfortunately, I'm considerably older. Herb Adderley, the Green Bay Packers, got it all started. The first pick-6, Super Bowl II against the Oakland Raiders, and some of the better ones that were out there. You might remember Dwight Smith and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had 2 in one game when they won their Super Bowl championship against Rich Gannon in Oakland. You mentioned Tracy Porter already. How about James Harrison of the Steelers? You remember that one? 100 yards right before the half ended? That was a big-time play. But for me, the absolute classic, Willie Brown in slow motion against the Vikings for the Raiders. The grand old man, Willie Brown, 75 yards.
You recall them all. What a play here. Another pick-6 in the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford and the rest of the Rams offense set to take over once more. And looking to erase his memory bank from his opening drive a moment ago that ended in a pick-6 for the first points of the ball game.
In my experience, a lot of quarterbacks, after throwing a pick-6, the first thing they want to do is fire another one and get those points back.
And right away, he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. And that'll set them back 5. So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. Winston to give. It's Kamara. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
Well, obviously they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. On 2nd and 12, Winston drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Off to Thomas on the left side. And he's going to come up well short as they rally up to stop him at about the 16. It'll be a pickup of 13, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Taylor Rapp with a pick. And the Rams are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on 4th down. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points no matter what. At worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Going up top for Cup. And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently, so that's just going to be an incompletion. Stafford going to give to Akers on the draw. And he'll lose yardage on this one, back to the 13. They'll wind up losing 11 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, it wasn't so much that it looked like the offense was threatening. They were. I mean, they had great field position, but how about the defense on that one? Huge stop on 3rd down. It wasn't just a stop. Look at the loss of yardage.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. What a real head-scratcher there. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line.
I don't know why you would do that. It's almost guaranteed points the other way. I mean, I get it if it's a late-game situation, maybe even 4th and inches. But, boy, that's a huge risk to take.
Yeah, now they're set up in prime position going the other way. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. Second down, and it's Kamara again. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Jameis to throw it. Looking for Thomas. He's got him. Touchdown, New Orleans. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Saints will add to their first quarter lead here in the Super Bowl. Lutz with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. From the end zone, here comes Brandon Powell. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. L.A. set to take over again on offense. They trail early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. They'll begin on the ground with Akers. And he will lose yardage here back to his own 6. That's a loss of 8 there on the 1st down play.
We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. From the end zone, Stafford. Buying time to his left. Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. And this is picked up by the Saints. And he's got his guys set up great now. 1st and goal. And the Pigs get at the 7-yard line. The defense gets him the ball via the turnover. Now can this offense cash in? 1st and goal. Try to pound it in. Kamara. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Alvin Kamara taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Saints are feeling good as they extend their lead in the Super Bowl. Lutz good on the extra point, and it's now 21-0. And they got the ball in great field position. 1 play later, boom, end zone.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the 1st as they kick this one away. Powell now to take it out of the end zone. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14.
For most people, the excitement of a kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder in the ball kick.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Malcolm Jenkins.
And the Saints are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line.
Now, to me, it's pretty simple, and it's fairly obvious, isn't it? He's got to start making better decisions with the ball.
That's now 2 interceptions in the 1st quarter. After interception number 1, there was a long talk on the sideline, and now he's made another mistake.
Yeah, he's been kind of laying these passes out there, he's kind of been floating them a little bit. He's got to be more decisive in his reads and definitely more decisive in throwing the ball. Rifle it in there every now and then.
On 2nd and 11 now. Winston. That's caught by Marquez Callaway. So the pitch and catch good for 11. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he's got enough for the first across midfield to the 48. 21-0 our score after 1. The Saints with the football here to begin quarter number 2. So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. Oh, this may be a free play for Winston. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by David Long. And he will take this all the way down to the 38-yard line. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Winston now. Flush to his right. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And this is incomplete. Oh, he had 6 points right in his hands, but could not hang on. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Winston. And he's got this one complete to Callaway. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. So the penalty declined, and they will keep the yardage on the completion.
And you could almost see him compartmentalize there throughout the route. Fought hard at the line of scrimmage, a lot of hand-checking throughout the route. Great job staying focused on the football and pulling it in through the contact.
And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near 40 at the 39. Now on 2nd and 16. Winston. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And this one is incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Now on 4th down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. On Stafford for the 3rd time is intercepted. Picked off by Paulson Adebo. And the Saints are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line.
It's just been one mistake after another on the offensive side of the ball. That's now 3 interceptions to go along with 2 fumbles for them. And if you're going to turn the ball over 5 times in a game, your chances to win have to be about 100 to 1. And it's not looking good for him here.
And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. Throwing on 2nd and long. Winston. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. To throw is Winston. Oh, and he'll just get rid of this one deep. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Thus far, they have been able to move the line of scrimmage very well in the running game. Almost felt like they said in the huddle, can you guys pass protect? Let's take a big shot downfield. Didn't get it on that one, but they may come back to it again.
A 2nd down throw for Winston. He's going to try and go deep again. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
That is caught by a diving Thomas.
When the spotlight is at its brightest, and let's face it, it's the Super Bowl, those types of plays come out, don't they?
Absolutely. A big-time catch on the biggest of stages.
Do you think that that was going to live on? We're going to see this for a long time.
Definitely going to live on forever with him, that's for sure.
No doubt.
Jumping all the way from the outside, maybe getting a little early start in the corner blitz.
And the only time it makes sense to get that penalty is exactly as you described. Otherwise, he should never get that penalty.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. On play action, Winston. He'll find its tight end. It's Adam Troutman. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Off the play fake, Winston. He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman. And he'll be taken down after a gain of about 8, as that will lead us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes on the clock in the 2nd quarter of this Super Bowl. Coming up at intermission, we'll get highlights of this Super Bowl from Jonathan Coachman and the crew in Orlando for our EA Sports halftime report. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete. They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2.
From the gun, Winston. Eluding the pressure right. He's got an open man. He completes it to Callaway. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Rams' 14.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Alvin Kamara, his second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Saints are starting to pour it on at the game's biggest stage. They are running away with this Super Bowl. It's not too often that you say, hey, this one's going to be over by halftime. And CD, I know our bosses probably don't want us to say that because they don't want people clicking away. But this one might be over by halftime.
And since you already put your job on the line by actually saying it, I will co-sign and go with you because you're my partner. We don't mean to do it, but this game has been exactly as you've described. I see no hope for them going forward.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. So the drive goes 75 yards, 10 plays. And the capper came from Alvin Kamara on the touchdown run. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
Powell now to take it out of the end zone.
And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. Getting set to go again, Matthew Stafford trots back onto the field. He's struggled. His team has struggled. You talked to me a lot about looking to your leaders. Maybe it's time for him to put his mark on this game.
Agreed. And how that has to happen is somehow he's got to flush out everything that's happened so far and almost start over.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Marcus Davenport, the first rounder out of UTSA with a sack.
This offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot. And here, another sack.
All game long, we've seen missed assignments which have led to turnovers.
And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. P.J. Williams with a pick.
An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep
over the middle, and there's a diving catch.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first two quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Lutz with the extra point, and that makes this 35-0 now. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
Powell now to take it out of the end zone. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Malcolm Jenkins. And they'll spot him at the 3-yard line.
Well, Charles, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
They'll run it with Kamara. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call. Mark off the 5 and keep it moving.
So the ball's moved to about the 1 after the penalty. First and goal. From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up second and goal. So it's halftime here on Sports Grid. So the halftime show of the Super Bowl abbreviated, ready to go for the second half. All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. And the Saints set to go here to begin the third quarter. And I would imagine this is where you have to take stock of the situation, CD, and say, gosh, we're halfway to the Lombardi Trophy. Let's not slow down now.
And I like the way you went there. Let's not slow down now, because the first half certainly went their way. And I would expect them to continue with that type of a game plan. But you're right. You do think back to Super Bowl 54. The 49ers had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, couldn't hold on. So plenty can still happen.
First down, Winston. That is caught by Callaway. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. After the big play, a chance to finish now on first and goal. Now Winston.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked by his former FSU teammate Jalen Ramsey.
And the Rams are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line.
So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in, coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Marcus Davenport able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening.
How about that, partner? His second sack of the game, and that puts him in some pretty good company. 17 guys have had 2 sacks in the previous 52 Super Bowls, but only 3 have had the record number of 3 sacks in this game.
And we've got the list here. If he gets another one and everyone behaves nicely, we might just list those out for him. And he will finally be taken down, but not before he reaches the 38. A big play there for L.A. On first and 10, Stafford. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Marcus Williams.
And the Saints are going to take over at their own 30-yard line.
I know it appeared he was saying, hey, give me the football, I'm open, but I don't know if that's a pass that he should have thrown there.
Well, I don't think we've ever met a wide receiver that doesn't think he is open or is about to be open.
True.
So when you throw your hand up in the air and tell your quarterback, hey, I'm available, he's trusting that you are. In this case, he was not, and it turned into disaster for them.
Kamara gets it again on second down.
And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. The first down throw for Winston. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's second down. Here's Winston. That's complete over the middle to Callaway. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
And if anyone thinks they're just going to tuck their horns in and pull back off the throttle a little bit, you can forget it. Even with this big third quarter lead, I think this team's going to continue to take their shots downfield, and there's another completion.
So first and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. Might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Throwing, Winston. Throw left side complete. That's Thomas. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle is going to be made at the Rams' 15-yard line. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. An encroachment penalty here, maybe just a mental lapse, partner.
Sometimes you have to just watch the football. Make sure it's snapped before you're jumping.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. Play action now, Winston. And he is going to be run down. What a disaster there. A huge loss. On 2nd and a long way to go. Winston looking long for Thomas. And this is caught. Touchdown, New Orleans. Michael Thomas, his 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Saints are starting to open things up here in the Super Bowl. Lutz good on the extra point, and it is 42-0. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays, and it all culminates in a Saints touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Powell now to take it out of the end zone. And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover. They want to try and put points on the board.
And he caught it up. And this is picked up by the Saints.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Escaping the pressure right. And he's going to lose yardage here. As they will switch ends as time has run out on this 3rd quarter of play. 1 quarter remains here in the Super Bowl. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver.
You definitely would like to hit on that one because now you've got a 3rd and long showing up, and you just know defense is going to be getting after it. They are pinning their ears back, and they are coming.
He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that is caught at the 10-yard line. And they move this all the way down to the 9. A big connection on that one. 34 yards. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. They're only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8. Here's 2nd and goal operating from the 8-yard line. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. Flushed out right. And this one drops incomplete, but I think the defense jumped. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Now Winston. Got a man open. It's Thomas. It's a touchdown for New Orleans. Michael Thomas with his 3rd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Saints are pouring it on. Lutz with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead.
the touchdown. Lutz to kick it off.
Powell now to take it out of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
The Saints defense getting ready here, heading back onto the field. Forced the fumble last time, up on the scoreboard, things going their way.
Things are rocking easy now, and they feel good about themselves, confident, taking the ball away.
Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
On first down, they'll stay with Akers on the ground.
Room here to run.